What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome. Wonderful Wednesday to the Sooner Surge. Missed you all last night as I was out. Appreciate Hunter stepping in. I'll try to bring the energy, Iowa Sooner. That is what I'll try and do. It is spring game week. We're about 4 days away now, really three. Weather looks a little better today, Jay.
A little
The
bit.
rain chances have gone down slightly.
Yep.
It's not going to be ideal. The weather's going to be, it's going to be chilly, 20-mile-per-hour north winds, but
Hey, not only the spring game though, but man, it looks like they're going to have quite a few visitors.
oh, it's
That
massive.
it's a huge weekend for the Sooners. Portal wise, and recruit. Portal wise is just unbelievable. And the newest entry into the portal, Dominique Williams from TCU. I think that's the guy right now that's entered the portal that everybody would say, there's your guy. That's the guy to go get. Sounds like OU Texas maybe on this battle, Jeremy.
Well, there's four guys I think that'll be there in the weekend. I think there's two that I would say massive gets, and it's Williams and Hickman.
I would agree with that. That's why I would agree the same way, Jerm.
If you get those two guys, game changers, because your depth is better at two positions you really need. Now, I would say that, you do have to be somewhat careful. You got to go get Williams, but the thing is, you also want these young guys to play this year, I think.
Yeah, but Jerm, you can't.
I know.
No, I hear people say that all the time. Well, just ride with what they got.
No, I didn't say ride with what they got.
Well, but you were worried about guys not playing or something as much if you go get Williams. Hey, you got to go get a guy like that. Guy's a really good talent.
And look, Hickman's good, guys. I see. I think Mez said he's only 294. I think Hickman would be great to get, especially with Everett's injury.
That's it. And did you think Everett was? If he's the backup or the starter, are you like? I'm not completely.
No, you know my thoughts.
That aspect, so
you know my thoughts.
Now Jet says Williams, Lowell. I think it's spelled Lowell and Hickman. Those three, yeah. But I think they're only going to take one defensive lineman. I don't think they're taking two. Do you?
No, I don't, Jay. And I don't know how much they're going to throw out there at Williams. 7 figures is not happening.
Well, and I'll say this.
Maybe it does.
You got him coming, Lowell coming. So both those guys, you have them both in there. Maybe then it's like, well, you got to probably weigh the NIL stuff and maybe who you're going to get. If one of them doesn't commit, then you can maybe throw more at the other. I don't know. But, the TCU guy, Williams, is 320, man. You talk about a guy at 320, man. 320 pounds.
Yeah. Bobby says the dream scenario for them is Lowell. I'm guessing he's going to say Lowell, Williams, Hickman.
I would be happy with Lowell too. I would be happy with Lowell. I think Williams is the better get, but I think
I don't like the phrase.
What?
I don't like the phrase "take who they can get." To me, that's settling.
OU will take two. Do you really think they're going to take two defensive line? Jet does. Bobby, Corey, what do y'all think?
That's a tough one. Corey.
Years.
Hey, Bobby thinks 2D line. Corey, whatever they do, they're going to have to decide by tomorrow. I thought Monday looks best weather-wise, but I hope they don't change it. Saturday is really the only day I can get there. I got track meets every other day.
Yeah, hit the like. Appreciate it, Lori. Monty says, George Stoy said we're going to spend some money on this. What?
Yeah,
you seem a little on edge. You seem a little bit on edge tonight.
I'm just tired of people say we're going to spend money on these guys. Yeah, and we said we're going to spend money on others, and they went elsewhere. So I don't know.
Crystal
I'll believe it when I see it.
What's up, Crystal? How are you tonight? Crystal says, spend the money and you'll get whoever you want.
Now, I do think what Bobby says is interesting because I do agree with this.
Did
The
you see
fact that
Park? Go ahead.
the fact that they're bringing all these guys in says a lot because these
Well,
aren't 4 run-of-the-mill guys.
No, but Parker Thune, I thought, put out today 76 visitors.
A lot.
I thought that's what I saw on Twitter, some astronomical number. But the portal visitors are huge. And look at what they're bringing in for the portal. 3 D linemen and an O lineman. Where do you think they're wanting to put everything, all their marbles in for the portal? It's those positions, right? I don't think
Trenches
there's any
win
other
titles.
position. Is there another position you really even need to consider? I don't think so.
No.
Not
There
at all.
isn't.
I don't think there is.
Colin says starting safety will be Bowen and RSJ, and Bowman will be an all-around where he's needed. I mean, Bowman's going to be a starting safety, Colin.
Bowman's starting.
Yes. Bowman is a starter.
Bowman will be starting.
Corey went to the softball game at
That's
Hall of
awesome,
Fame Stadium.
Corey.
No hitter.
Yep, no hitter. 70 visitors, Bobby. Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter today too, which is just a crazy number. And yeah, Bowman and RSJ. I would agree with that more. Okay, Ron.
Listen,
let me say what I heard. Okay, I heard a few things that in a scrimmage recently that it was pretty bad. So now take with that what it is. Who knows? One scrimmage, but I think it's a combo, guys. I think they're very inexperienced, and I think the defensive line is really good. You heard Jackson Arnold last night on the post game the post practice say that the defense is way ahead of where they were last year. They're not making mistakes. They're in the right spots. They're where they're supposed to be. They're not having these mental errors. And I think probably he wanted to say maybe that, hey, it's been tough for the offense. That's probably kind of what I got.
Yeah, I sense the same thing, Jay. The offensive line may be struggling. It could be because the defensive line is much improved, and a lot of these guys are new, but we'll see Saturday. Iowa Sooner. I hope you're right. I hope loyalty is secondary right now. I hope that. That's the step that BV needs to make.
As far as getting rid of guys?
No, as far as being loyal and playing, you got to play the guys who are talented and the studs. Jay's got the 5 o'clock shadow. He's trying, Crystal. He's trying. I can see stuff there.
First off, thumbs up or thumbs down? Should I shave it or go with it?
Go with it like mine, Jay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's starting to itch. I've never grown it out, so this is the first
the
time.
Longest my hair's ever been.
Colin says people are taking some quotes out of context. J.A. said he's been better this spring, but still room to improve because you can always get better. Who's
people? Who took things out of context?
Well, yeah. Are you talking about what I was saying about the O line or D line or the defense? Or are you talking about other people?
I'm not talking about Jackson Arnold's game. There's Ron. I heard the O-line wants out of the line of scrimmage.
And that's right, Mass. I agree with that. A defense should be leading in spring ball. Always is, usually. So if not, that's usually a problem.
Dow Poets. Loyalty is important. You got to have loyal guys, but you cannot sacrifice. If there's one guy who's new and hasn't been there as long, but is more talented and works as hard, you got to go with that guy over loyalty at some point. Monty, I'm most excited to see Jackson Arnold. I want to see his offense, what he looks like, making the throws. I want to see Seth Luttrell and what he throws out there. And then I'm really excited to see this defense get after it.
Couple things. First off, Lori asked who commits next. Any ideas, Jerem?
Yeah, there is, Jay. I think it's one of the portal guys. Look, if they go to the spring game, leave Norman and don't commit, I don't know that they'll get him.
No, probably some of those guys they wouldn't. And let's get to this, Colin. We were actually talking a little bit about this before we got on here tonight. Colin says, been listening to the K-Ref and people who text in are nervous about him saying there's room to improve. First off, Colin, understand that, Teddy Lehman on the ref, also podcast on the Oklahoma Breakdown, has mentioned this a few times. So it's probably where the texts are coming in, listening to the breakdown and then texting in about it. But there is facts in what they said, but there's also a fact of this. He's inexperienced. That's a fact. Okay. But, and people saying there's room to improve. Here's my thing about it. Yeah, there's room to improve, but based on one game, I mean, we don't really know what he can do. I don't think it's fair to judge him at all. My thing, all I've been saying, all I've seen is this: we'll have to wait and see with Jackson Arnold. We can't be that he's going to be the all-world quarterback yet because he hasn't done anything yet. That's all I've said. I think people that are nervous about him, I think there's a difference in being nervous and being reasonable. My reasonable is that Jackson Arnold will be a good quarterback. I'm not going to put him in no Baker Mayfield status yet, though. And that's not me being nervous about it. That's me saying he could have a couple bad games this year with turnovers. I don't know.
Well, I'll give my take on the Jackson Arnold thing in a second. First, Blake says, who do they push out to make the room for transfer?
They're going to have to push people out.
They're going to have to push people out or offer them maybe NIL deals, but not scholarships or vice versa. They're going to have to do something like that. Absolutely, we'll have to.
Here's the deal, Jerm, with NIL these days, there's ways to do it without just screwing people over for scholarship. So,
okay, I got to talk about Jackson Arnold. I know I've called
that's a silly question. Ron,
Jason,
he's way better than Brett Bomar.
You can't say that. He's played one game, right, Jay? That's what you've been saying.
Don't come at me with that comment. Jeez.
Hey, I called the group chat earlier tonight. I think Jackson Arnold is going to be elite. I think Michael Hawkins is going to be an elite quarterback at OU. For people to be acting like Michael Hawkins could maybe be the starter this year is absolutely absurd. I'm just going to say that. It can both be true. He can be really good, but it doesn't mean he's going to be pushing for the starting job.
I don't think anybody's really said that. I mean,
I've seen people commenting. It seems like It seems like people are saying that maybe they're worried Jackson Arnold's going to throw a lot of picks. And again, Jen Kane on here has said, I don't know, high school he didn't. He had that game in the bowl game where he threw some picks. Yes, he was late on a couple of throws, but as Crystal says, he threw some elite throws. And I'm going to say it on here again. I won't because I don't want to bring it up. But he threw some very, very elite throws that game. Maybe more than we saw all year.
If Hawkins is a starter OU indeed, I don't expect Hawkins to walk in and start.
Not a chance.
I do not.
Not a chance. Zero.
If Jackson Arnold gets hurt, gets hurt, then I see Hawkins coming in.
When is Casey Thompson back, Jay? Because Braden, he's fighting it. He was coming off an injury. I'm not sure timetable, but I don't. He's not going to play in the spring game, correct, Jay?
Yeah. Hunter, Bobby mentioned earlier about the scholarship, but you still have a roster limit. But I was under the impression that the roster limit was quite a bit higher than the scholarship limit. Am I wrong on that?
OU is over the roster limit, Jay.
I thought the roster limit was higher than the scholarship limit. Maybe I'm wrong.
I agree. Hawkins is a more mobile guy. Yeah, the O-line's trash, but you don't just throw away. And I do like what Jet said.
It was
if you go back and watch the bowl game, Jay, there were times where pressure's in Arnold's face and he did one of these. Just little slide of the shoulder, the guy goes by him. He definitely showed some pocket presence. I like that.
Yeah. Braden's excited to see Michael. I'm excited to see Mike Hawkins, honestly, too. I am. And this is true, Sooner fan. A lot of it depends on the O-line, no matter who the quarterback is. Doesn't matter. I
A lot
do
of people
find
are
it
also
funny.
way too down on Casey Thompson.
I do find it funny. The same people, because I'm this way, but I'm not saying that Hawkins is starting. But what I'm saying is the same people that want to say that Jackson Arnold has no experience and we don't know what they're going to get are the same people that saying Hawkins could be starting, which he has zero experience and just got there. So I think you can't say both. I mean, you can't say the both of those.
I like what Mars said. I'm glad they're both on the Oklahoma football team. And you know who else I'm glad? I'm glad Casey Thompson's on the team. I like Casey Thompson and what he brings, especially maybe in a backup or a leadership role. Eric says, Jeremy, if we still had DG but no Jackson Arnold, would you want to see Hawkins over DG? I'd have to see. I haven't seen Hawkins yet. I've not. I can't comment. I've not seen Hawkins. If I went and watched Hawkins and his arm strength and he made all the throws and could scramble, yeah, I'd probably say Hawkins over DG. And the fact of the matter is DG will probably be in the Heisman conversation. So this year at Oregon. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Charles Thompson was awesome. Number 6.
I agree. Hey, the thing is, the whole Jackson Arnold stuff, Jackson Arnold's a starting quarterback, and I think he's going to be good. So I'm going to just put that to bed right now. I'm not saying all I've ever said is that he's inexperienced, and that's fact. Fact.
Yes.
So.
And again, I'm just a little upset still that OU in the 2 years under DG could not even make the Big 12 title game. I'm just upset about it. That's all.
I don't want to talk about Dylan.
It wasn't all his fault.
I really don't want to talk about
2 years.
Gabriel.
2 years they couldn't get it. It's 105. Correct, Jay?
Yeah, it's like 20 more than the regular. So
Tone Loke, I would take Jamel Holloway.
I would take Jamel.
I would take Jamel, okay? Hey, I'm not worried about Jackson Arnold one bit.
I'm not either. I'm not worried about him. I do think with their schedule, I think there's going to be some games on the road that you would expect any quarterback to struggle a little bit. I mean, I think that's why the defense has to be legit this year, because it's not fair to put – you can't expect well, I keep saying freshman. He started one game. You can't expect him to go out there and just dominate every game. It's just probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, Jay. Again, we'll only see about that. But I think it was Fanstop, Jay, that mentioned the complementary football. It's a term that gets thrown out a lot. And let's just face it, OU hasn't had complementary football in ages. I mean, probably late 2000s, they had some complimentary football, never won a natty. 2000, they definitely had complimentary football that year, because there were games they put 60 on, and there are games the defense won for them. But there is complimentary football. But, yeah, that is something you got to have. It's a word that's used a lot, but people don't really understand, I don't think, how important it is.
Colin says, if you told me 3 years ago the BB will be the head coach and safety would be one of the best rooms, I would call you crazy. We were once praising Stephen Parker for knocking down a 2-point play, not her. Yeah, I do think it's pretty outstanding what BB has done on the recruiting trail defensively with the guys they've got. I mean, the depth they've added. And this is it. This is the year. Third year, first year in the SEC, third year, all these guys back from previous seasons, that big recruiting class on the 24 defensive line. To me, this is the year. You got to be really, really, really good defensively. And if you were to land Dominique Williams or Lowell or something like that to add to what you already have, man, I think you talk about spring portal gets. If you land Dominique Williams, debatable, is he not the best spring portal get they've gotten up to now?
You just portal, Jay.
I'm taking in a few years.
You just portal, Jay.
I just portal to the other side.
Look, Kyla says is a top 5 SEC defense good enough? It's borderline. I think top 3 is good enough for sure. Chuck, I agree with you, Chuck. You got to deal with the learning curve. There
I
is
agree.
going to be one.
But people like you need to think there is going to be a learning curve.
I've said there's going to be a game where he throws a couple picks.
I think there's a lot of people, fan-wise, that think he's going to go out there and be Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield threw picks, Jay.
No, but I think they think he's going to walk out there and be a Heisman contender right away. And that might be true, but you can't just say that as fact.
Iowa Sooner asked the last best defense. Eric says 09. 08 was good too. There were those late 2000s before they got in the teens were some good defenses.
That's sad.
Mars Jam wants to see Allie coaching with his hair on fire. Octopus. Okay, listen. Allie will be coaching with his hair on fire. And real quick, Jay, something that is firing. Please do us a favor here, okay? Because it's actually doing you a favor. By checking out the fanstop.com, you're doing yourself a favor. You sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club, okay? They will be shipped to your doorstep every month, and they're different every month. And you'll have a dresser full of OU apparel that is better than any apparel you can get anywhere else. You don't even have to leave your house, okay? I promise you. You can get 10% off by using code SURGE. Sign up. Take the step. Fanstop.com. Hit us with the trivia, Jay.
Trivia tonight. Going with a little Thunder trivia because Thunder, number 1 seed. Got to go a little Thunder, but here we go. Pretty easy question. I think it'll go very quickly, but who did the Thunder play when they were in the playoffs last time? Who did they lose to? The year would have been.
I give it 5 seconds. 5.
I believe the year was 2020.
4, 3, 2, 1. Someone's going to say it right now. Not the Lakers. Not Dallas. There it is.
Corey, good job. Rockets. It was the Rockets.
Jen, we know. Yeah, let's get to Crystals. Jen, we know that the fan base is always overreactive, including myself a lot of times. Crystal says, which conference is more dangerous for cornerbacks and safeties? SEC or Big 12? It's not even close. It's SEC. But listen, I'm going to say this, Jay, and I know you'll agree with me. How the Big 12 was officiated the last few years, last 10 years, it was a travesty because they did not let cornerbacks and safeties be physical. It was interference all the time.
Yeah,
the SEC allowed it. The SEC allowed it. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's true, Corey. It was in the bubble. That's right.
I mean, I watched
Chris
several.
Paul was on the.
I believe so, Jay.
Yeah.
I remember watching games in the SEC thinking if they would let OU's DBs play like this, they would be high NFL picks either. Now, listen, OU's had some high cornerbacks drafted, and they've had several cornerbacks drafted. First couple rounds, 3 rounds.
Let me ask a question. Monty says, I'm so glad we left Big 12. Do you think OU leaving the Big 12 and going to the SEC, do you think that has given Brent Venables, I'm not saying like he's on the hot seat, but I'm saying, do you think that gave him an extra year? Basically, if he were to go to the Big 12 next year and struggle and not win it again, do you think there would have been people saying time to go if he didn't win the Big 12 next year?
Here's what I would say, Jay. Yes, it definitely gave him another year. He's going to get it. He's going to get this year free, in my opinion. And then the next year,
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any way they're firing Brent Venables after year one.
They're firing him, but free.
That's a free year, I'm saying.
If they go 7-5, people will be upset.
Duh, but they're not going to fire him, so it's free. Now, listen. Here's what I would say, though, Jay. Had OU still been in the Big 12, the recruiting class wouldn't be this good. I think the move to the SEC has put everything up on a pedestal, and including BV as far as what his expectations are. It's done everyone good. Everybody.
Colin says, you think we get the TCU guy. It's a battle between OU and Texas. In Portal, you want the first, not last. In my opinion, you don't let him level until he's 100% locked with OU. Here's the deal. We know he's visiting an OU this weekend. So OU's getting the first visit. Like Jeremy talked about earlier, like we've talked about in other guys, if, in my opinion, if he doesn't commit after the spring game, OU's not getting him.
Correct. I agree with that.
I mean, wouldn't you agree if they don't get him, they're not getting him?
Yeah, he needs to commit this weekend. Absolutely. Bobby, you're right. It would have been easier to make the playoffs in the Big 12, but I would still rather be in the SEC.
And wait, Bobby says Oklahoma would be a lock for a 12-team playoff in the Big 12. Based on what? They didn't win it last year.
Texas isn't in
You're
it, Jay.
saying if Texas and OU were in the Big 12, you think they'd be a lock?
I think people are saying if OU was in the Big 12 this year without Texas.
Oh, well, I mean, that's different.
They were a package deal, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. I am loyal to BV, Dalpo.
I think
I like
BV's
BV.
the guy.
Like
BV is the man,
actually.
in my opinion.
So
BV is the man, in my opinion.
I agree. I think he's the guy. I think it was a good hire. I think it was the right hire, and I think he's going to prove it over the next 2 years. Mark it down. Now, people can have questions. There's no reason not to, but I think he'll succeed.
Mark says with Texas in the Big 12, but Mark, only one Big 12 team's getting in probably.
Well, if OU
now,
and Texas were both in there, they might get two.
If OU and Texas were both in the Big 12, they might could get two.
And I think that's what Mark's saying.
Ron, here's the good news, Ron. There's no purple teams in the SEC. That's a fact.
That's true.
OU can't play against purple.
Kansas State, TCU.
Correct.
They did okay against TCU up until recently.
Well, I know, but they were a thorn in their side in some big games, Jay. Specifically, Gary Patterson. Where is Gary Patterson right now?
No clue. Playing guitar somewhere.
He was an analyst with Texas. I'm not sure if he's still there.
Hey, Big Orange. That will be a top matchup. Who knew Kentucky would be this good in baseball? First off. Second off, nobody's beaten Arkansas this year, in my opinion, in baseball. I think they're winning the whole thing. I mean, I would be surprised. To me, it'd be very disappointing if you're an Arkansas fan and they didn't, because I think they're that good this year.
I forgot, Jay, about LSU's purple.
Gary says, I'm going to die if Gundy gets Okie State in the college football playoff. Guys, I think within the next 5 years, they probably get in.
What does Hunter mean Bama just did? What did Bama just do?
Don't you think within 5 years, OSU's going to get in?
I
think they'll rise up and win the Big 12 one of those years.
I would probably agree 5 years. Oh, he's talking baseball.
I get it, Hunter, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think anybody will. But
listen, Crystal, I for sure am going to Missouri. Okay, my in-laws live in Columbia. I will be in Missouri for that game. I'd love to go to Ole Miss too, but I'm for sure going to Missouri, 100%. Unless something drastic happens.
Bobby says Utah or Okie State winning the Big 12. Ole Miss, Kyla. Kyla asked something earlier I was going to get to. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I agree Kansas State was the biggest thorn. I didn't say they weren't. I said TCU was a thorn. I said purple, both. Fanstop thinks Patterson's at Baylor right now, Jay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where
he's somewhere in Texas, I guarantee.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising.
I think he's a heck of a coach. And he looks like Mr. Holland's Opus. Okay.
Hey, are you surprised that only Shane Litter is in the portal?
I can't hear you. You sound like a robot. I couldn't hear you, Jay. You sounded like a robot.
You still can't hear me?
Yeah, it's like 10 seconds after you talk. You look like one of those bad movies where the words are different than the what he's saying. The Big 12 will be relegated to Group of 5, 6 status within 5 years. Probably true. It depends on what they do with the conferences and what they're going to do on that. I mean, that's really the whole deal. Well, what are they going to do? Are they going to go to the 3 or 4 big dogs, 3, all that? Yeah, the pageantry at Ole Miss is the tailgating, hotty-toddy. Got to go there.
Is that better, Jerm?
That is better.
What
Kung Fu movie,
is,
Jay. You're a Kung Fu movie.
What I was going to ask is, are you surprised that so far Shane Witter's the only guy to enter the portal for Oklahoma?
Little bit, Jay. Jet says that's the spring game. I agree.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree. Ooh, Ron. Who wins our conference first, USC or OU? I would say OU. I don't think there's any chance USC Big Ten. I think Big Ten's going to be brutal. So's OU and the SEC. It could be a while before either of them win the conference. I mean, that's a lot, I think. That's a high.
Yes.
You got USC would have to finish ahead of Michigan, Ohio State, amongst other teams. And then obviously OU, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, there's a lot of teams to try to I mean, I'd love to win the SEC, but playoffs my thing. Top 12, man. That's where I want to be.
Agreed. They only have to beat Ohio State, but there's other teams there. Oregon, for one, that they can't beat. So, can't beat Oregon.
Hey,
were you talking?
I saw a lot of people commenting on here about what's that?
Go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
I saw a lot of people mentioning the weather, moving the game Friday. I haven't heard that anywhere. Have you heard that?
There was brief mention of it, but they have to decide tomorrow either way. Have to decide tomorrow. Yeah, 2025, Jet, is the year everyone's talking about. 2025. That's what everyone wants to say. And I agree with you. That would be the year that makes the most sense with this D-line class, with another year with Jackson Arnold, another year with Seth Luttrell. But I want the playoff in 2024. I want a chance in the playoff. Just get to the playoff. That's all I ask. Playoff. And Keelan, yes, I think they're patient with Jackson Arnold.
Okay? I agree.
I think they're going to be patient with him. How patient? I hope we don't have to find out, okay?
Why would you not be patient with him?
Yeah, why would you not?
Why would you not? People think he's going to go in there and not throw any picks and just – guys, there's going to be some of that. It's just a fact. If Correct. Not, he's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play at Oklahoma if he does that right off the bat and does great.
And really, Sooner fans, this is Sooner fans we're talking about. OU should not be complacent with, give us 2 years. OU fans want it now. Go get it. Get a chance. Give yourself a chance. Make the playoff. That's all we're asking. If you lose in the playoff, I'll be mad, but at least you got there. 9-3 will make the playoffs probably, Big Orange, because I think there's going to be a lot sitting at 9-3 in the SEC. OU's strength of schedule is probably better than others. 9-3, I think, gets OU in the playoff. 9-3 does not get some other teams in the SEC in the playoff, probably. It does depend on who you lose to, though.
Jerm, 12-game season, 12-game regular season. Over under on interceptions for Jackson Arnold. 6. What would you take?
Over. I think he's going to have probably 7 or 8. If he has 6, he's going to have better numbers than Dylan Gabriel on interceptions.
I agree.
Gabriel at 6 or 7.
You got to probably put the over under about 8.
Okay, I would take it about 8. And if he throws 8 picks this year, I am ecstatic if that's all he throws, Jay.
I think, I mean,
if he throws 8 picks, he's probably winning the Heisman.
I mean, there's going to be games probably against the big boys on the road, could throw 2 or 3. I mean, I don't know. It's been, I mean, I'd have to look at the stat, but when was the last time, and who was it? The last time an OU quarterback threw 3 interceptions?
I don't even know, Jay, but I do like what Lehman did say about the fact that they're trying to give Jackson Arnold a whole lot of stuff to look at. I like that a lot better than making it easy on him. Yep, he gonna be slanging it. He gonna be slanging it all over the yard. Jay, do you know what? Did you already talk about what kind of car Seth Luttrell drives?
Not yet.
Everyone guess what kind of vehicle Seth Luttrell drives. You'll be easily be able to guess.
Not
surprising. Okay, big diesel. Okay, physicality is happening in Norman just by Levy to Seth Luttrell. Okay,
Mark says a
Levy
Corolla.
probably drove the Corolla.
Who?
Seth Luttrell, big old diesel truck. That's who I want.
Bobby says Rattler in 2020 was the last one. Yep, 250. Wow. I believe that's it. That's crazy. 2020 was the last time 3 picks. Is that right? Bobby's always good at getting stuff. Bobby knows his stuff.
Yeah. I know someone said something on here, Jay. I was going to get to it real quick before we get off here. Yeah, Temple, if he throws 2 picks against Temple, they're not pulling him. Again, it depends on what the picks are like on some of these too, okay? It's hard to tell. All picks are not the same, okay? So I think that matters. Tomorrow we should know if the game is for sure Saturday. I expect it. It will be Saturday at 1 o'clock, just like was planned, unless you wake up tomorrow and the forecast is worse than expected, Jay.
Yeah, I think it's looking better. I think each day it seems to get better, at least where I'm at. So I think maybe it won't be as bad as once originally thought it. You know, honestly, I think it's going to feel like a fall football game. So I don't think there'll be anything wrong.
It's going to be
if you go to a football game in October and it's mid-60s, you're loving it. So I think it'd be great for fans if it's not raining.
It was going to be a strong north wind, so we'll see. Listen, I do want to thank everyone on the Sooner Surge as far as the community here. You guys are great. It's great seeing the same names every night, night in, night out. I appreciate it so much, all of you guys that are on here every single night. We have tried to maybe go to 30 minutes. Of course, we can't do that. We keep talking. But we've been strong at 45. But as the season gets closer, we may even go an hour. But since it's not season, we're trying to keep these between 30 and 45 minutes. But listen, you guys have been great again, as always. Tomorrow, another day closer to the spring game. Okay. And Mark, you are great, as you all are. Okay. Hit the like. That would really help us out. Hit the like. That would do us a big favor. Do that. And also, we want you to check out the Fan Stop. Do yourself a favor by doing that and use code SURGE for 10% off the first 3 months of the Shirt of the Month Club. Thanks for the chat, as Ron says. I think Ron is implying that I want to leave the chat, as Ron would say. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Boomer.
Sooner.